Okay, I think everyone is muted. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the training. So let me get back to where I was. Okay, welcome guys. My name's Ruth Sheridan. Some of you are new on the call, and so I welcome you. I've been with Isagenix for a number of years now, started off as a product user and morphed into a passionate business builder. I love our business, I love our products and our company, and I love the people that I work with. So I am here tonight to run our weekly training call. It's usually Monday evenings at 8 o'clock, but I switched it because of the Canadian holiday, so don't let this Tuesday confuse you. Every week I train on the basic skills of network marketing. This week specifically, we are going to talk about handling objections and how to ask certain questions to help create a decision for a person to close a sale. So I'm going to get right into the training. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Tonight, for a change, I have a little PowerPoint presentation to help you understand some ways to deal with objections. And also, I will post this in Team Empower Me in the file section so that you do have a copy of it so that you don't have to be madly making notes. Before I jump in, I just want to mention a couple of things. Number one is there are a bunch of events coming up, both in the Toronto area and also in some of the areas where people are joining us in the United States. So specifically, I've listed those in Team Empower Me. You can also find both company-sponsored events and associate-sponsored events on the Isagenix events website and in your back office. So if you go under the orders tab in your back office, you're going to see something that says view and manage events. That will give you the links to all of the events in your area. You've heard me say this every single week. Getting to events is number one in building your business. It will help create belief in the products, in the company, because you're going to meet a ton of people who have had amazing experiences both on the product side and on the business side. You're also going to get some great training from the best leaders in this company. So if you're serious about your business, get out to events and bring people to see what we do. The events are really exciting and they're really, really fun. And they're the best way to inspire people to, give Isagenix a try. So take a look at the events that are coming up. Get yourself out to them. Just a really quick note, I mentioned this before. Celebration is sold out, but we do have tickets. So if you're sitting on the fence, absolutely let me know and we'll get you set up with tickets and connected in with the team. I'm just going to go ahead and somebody who isn't muted now. There we go. Perfect. Okay, guys, so I'm going to hop into the training. We're going to spend about half an hour tonight and then really try and stay on time. So I'm going to go here and share my screen. If I can remember how to do it. And okay, here we are. I put this little PowerPoint together tonight, so it's not very fancy, but it should do the trick. So tonight we're going to talk about handling objections. And, you're going to find as you're talking to people and sharing your Isagenix story and your Isagenix vision that you're going to encounter some objections. And many of them you're going to hear over and over again. I'm just going to try and make this full screen here. Bear with me. There we go. Okay, so just this little slide says the more you can close more business in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Often I hear people saying, you know, I'm going to go out and get someone. Well, it's really not about that. It's more about connecting with people and really understanding where they're coming from, having a genuine interest in what's going on in their lives, whether it's, you know, health concerns or wealth concerns. You know, maybe somebody's lost a job, or, you know, they're struggling to make ends meet, or they just want to do something different. And it's more about developing rapport and really understanding where people are at, as opposed to going out and getting someone. So when you shift your mindset a little bit about that, it's a whole lot more fun, first of all, to really connect with someone. And second of all, you'll have a lot more success because you'll really develop a relationship that way. So there's 5 main objections we hear in our business over and over and over again. And these are the main ones that you're going to encounter. And tonight I'm just going to give you some real easy tools to start practicing and learning how to effectively deal with these objections. And keep in mind, you know, some of these things are my words and you're going to make them your own. But sometimes when you borrow someone else's words in the beginning, it really makes it a whole lot easier to get going. So the 5 main objections are cost, time, got to check with my spouse, is it a pyramid or multi-level marketing, and I need to think about it. So first one, in general, I want to say objections are really a buying signal. I think somebody just hopped on the call. If you could mute your phone or your microphone, that would be great. So objections are just a buying signal. They're good. Don't take it personally. People just have questions and they want to ask them. And everybody, when they're being approached by someone, they're going to feel some resistance. I want you to think about how it is when you pick up a phone and maybe there's a telemarketer on the other side. What do you feel in your body? You feel a little bit of resistance. And then you're automatically thinking about, you know, what kind of excuse or objection you can do to let this person go. Well, other people may be feeling that same way when you're talking to them. So just be totally relaxed, be in your body, be yourself, and, you know, just talk to people. So you don't want to react, you want to respond and answer the questions. So in answering the questions, first you really have to ask questions to determine what they mean by their objections. Not just by what they're saying, but what is really meant. Never interrupt them or assume you know what they're going to say next or finish their sentences. Let them finish. Really listen and ask questions about why they're feeling that way. So then you're going to be able to better respond. Never argue or make an objection seem stupid, because no objection is stupid. People may just not have the information that they need to create, you know, the decision. So no question is stupid, no objection is stupid. So I want to jump right into this. In dealing with objections, the first thing is listening. Most people lose their opportunity to really respond well because they don't hear the objection. They get caught up in sort of the emotional pressure of, what am I going to say? What's the next thing I'm going to say? That they don't really hear what's being said. So really listen and try and relax. If you have to take a big, deep breath to relax in your body, then do it so you can listen. Then you want to clarify. So make sure that you really understand what the person's objective is. So you can say, just so I understand what you're saying is, you know, it costs too much, or you know, your spouse may object, or you really want to understand. You also want to isolate their objection by asking questions. But like, is there anything else besides this that would stop you from getting started? Or if you had the money now, would you get started? So you're trying to isolate the objection to one. And when you do that, then multiple objections generally don't come up. Next thing, build rapport. So we're going to go through some examples shortly of using something that I really love, and it's really easy to use when you get started. It's called the feel, felt, and found sentences. And I'm going to show you how to use those in a minute. But just really generally, you're going to say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And here's what I found. And we're going to integrate that into some examples in a second. Ask people if it makes sense to them, after you answer their objection, to make sure they have a clear understanding of what you're saying. Remember, you're just having a good old conversation with someone. There's no magic in it. And lastly, remember that this is the sorting business. You're not out to get people. You're sorting through people to find out who is qualified to join your business, and who is ready to, make a change in their body. And not everybody is. So the questions that you ask and the objections that you answer are really just qualifications to see if someone is ready to join you. And just remember that there's going to be a ton of people that say no. And even if you address the objections perfectly, they may say no. And there is no mistake you can make. You didn't do it wrong, or you didn't handle it wrong. A lot of it is practice, and the more that you do, the better you're going to get. So, just on that note, get out there and practice and do your thing, and you're going to get better at it and more comfortable with it. So just remember, what's important is really connecting with people. 7% of the time is through your spoken word. So back to, there is no wrong thing really you can say, because only 7% of it is what you are saying. 38% is how you say it. Do you say it with passion, excitement, or are just kind of like nervous or bored or not really committed to what you're saying? 55% is through your energy. So, back to when I was talking about coming to events, when you believe and are so passionate about what you're doing and your vision for yourself, then that's going to come through when you talk to others. So energy is absolutely huge. Sorry, guys, I just have a call coming in that I muted. Okay, so let's get into the specifics. Costs. Okay, how many of you have heard that? I have no money, or it costs too much. I don't have the money right now. I don't have a credit card. My credit card's maxed out. I have no money in the bank. There's nothing left in the piggy bank. I've heard it all. So how do we deal with that cost objection effectively? Ways to handle. One of the easiest ways when you first start out, and I still use this way very, very frequently, is I'll ask people, how much do you spend on 2 meals a day? What do you spend for breakfast? What do you spend on your lunch? Do you go out for lunch during the week when you're at work? Do you go out for coffees? Do you go to Starbucks? Do you buy lattes? And you get people to start adding all of this up in the day. And generally, what I've found on average is people are spending between $10 and $25 in a day on 2 meals and trips to a drive-through or Starbucks. And that fits really beautifully in the 2 main packs that we offer, being the President's Pack, which is between $20 and $25 a day, and the 30-day system, which is between, sort of $10 and $13 a day, depending on the exchange rate. So if you're in Canada, sorry. So, you ask them, okay, so if you could replace what you're spending in the day with the best food on the planet that's going to make you feel more energy than you've ever felt, is going to allow you to reach whatever the goal is that they've told you about, whether it's weight loss or, healthy aging or athletic performance. Then, what's holding you back? Would you want to do this? Would you want to join me? Would you want to join us? And when you show it that it's a replacement of cost, then people can visualize that much more easily and generally will come around to getting over their cost objection. The other thing I really like is, which I often use as well, and this was by our great leader, Susan Sly. I heard this at an event, was she'll say, what's holding you back? Either it's free or it's free. Either you're going to, try the products and decide that they're not for you, which is really rare. But if that's the case, you're going to box them back up. Even if they're open, send them back. You're going to get all your money back. Or I'm going to show you a way to help a couple of friends to get healthy alongside of you. And we're going to get your products paid for before your credit card bill comes in. And that's a really beautiful way to show people how to start sharing the products. And, it's going to create some consultants for you and help you grow your business as well. So I love that either it's free or it's free, because people will listen. They'll go, oh, what does that mean? It's kind of a neat saying. Or you can use the feel, felt, found. So the way I would say that is, and you want to use the person's name. So if it's Bill I'm talking to, I'd say, Bill, you know what? I feel what you're saying. And, I felt the same way too when I first started. But what I found, Bill, was I actually replaced my grocery dollars, and I eventually even saved money by the end of the month. So what do you think? Do you see this like that? So you can use feel, felt, found to identify with the person and make a connection and handle the objection that way. So that's the cost objection. The second one is time. Okay, I get that a lot when I'm prospecting for business. I don't have time. I'm already really busy. I'm already stressed out. I've got kids at home. I've got a job. I don't have time. So there's lots of time objections. Again, you can use the feel, felt, found. Again. So Bill, you know what? I feel what you're saying. I understand that, you're stressed out and you're commuting and you're spending hours behind a desk and you get home and you're exhausted. You know what? When I was doing that too, I felt the same way. But what I found, Bill, is just by putting aside, half an hour a day, a couple of days a week, or an hour, whatever I could fit into my day, I was able to build an extra amount of income every month, and that continued to grow. And eventually, Bill, you know what? That's going to give me time freedom. And in our company, it's given so many people time freedom. So, I'm just asking you to take a look at this, not to get started right away, but take a look at our opportunity and see if you see the same thing that is, I saw and was happening to me. So that feel, felt, found scenario works again in the time objection. And here I've just written a little blurb for you, that you can even put on a cue card if you're uncomfortable sort of saying it off the top of your head, and you can practice it maybe, with a spouse or, a teammate, and get comfortable with the words. Then this one I love. This is my favorite. I used to get this all the time. Is that a pyramid? Is that one of those pyramid schemes? Is that MLM, that multi-level marketing thing, where the person at the top makes all the money and everybody else loses? Do you know what? I don't get that question anymore, ever. And it all comes down to that last point I said, 55% is your energy. And I am just so passionate about this business model that people don't challenge me anymore. It's the energy you emit. And often when you think about a an objection and you go into conversation thinking about objection, what's going to show up? That objection. So get comfortable with the business model. And again, the best way to do that is to connect in with people, get yourself to events, really understand what we have. And that's going to help you deal with this. But here's a couple of tools to help you. Often when people, as people come into this and are really scared of that question, I tell them just to say no. Is that a pyramid scheme? No. And often people will they'll just move on, and no explanation required. That was a great response that Mike Delaird, one of our Isagenix millionaires, gave at an event. He just says no. And what a beautiful thing. And he says no with conviction. The other thing you can do is ask, what do you mean by a pyramid? Often people don't know. They've heard these things, out there about direct sales and multi-level marketing, that there's some weird pyramid scheme. And so they don't really understand what they're talking about, but they throw it out there because it's a buzzword. Ask them what they mean by that. And often they don't know. And then you can have a real heart-to-heart conversation about how our business model is absolutely the best business model there is, because there's no limit on our income. There is really no competition. Everybody helps each other because it is in our best interest to help our team members. So, when you really understand this business model, you will be unstoppable. Here are really a couple of blurbs that you can use as you're starting to deal with these objections and getting comfortable with this business model, because many of you are new. What you can say is, you're not the first person that asked that. Or, I too wondered what MLM was. The difference between a pyramid and a real business is this. A pyramid is when there's no product or service sold. And you make money solely from recruiting. That is not Isagenix. We have amazing products that are transforming people's lives. And it is very much a real business. We've won numerous awards, business awards that are really held in high esteem. So it is absolutely not a pyramid. But again, it comes through in your energy, your conviction, and in the way you posture these responses. I have to ask my spouse. The best way to deal with this question is to ask up front, is there anybody else whose opinion is required to create a decision on whether or not you get started? And if they say no, they will never, ever ask this question or use it as an objection. So I always ask up front if I sense that, there's going to be this objection, and it works. I remember when someone was prospecting me on something, this is the first question they asked me. And before I was really in network marketing, I wondered why they asked that. And certainly it didn't allow me to use that as an objection. So again, ask up front if anyone else's opinion is required to create a decision. And if the answer is yes, then ask them when's a convenient time to get them on the phone or present, so that they can help you create a decision and understand what you're going to be doing. So that's the best way to deal with ask my spouse or my partner or whoever that significant other is in the person's life. And lastly, I need to think about it. That's a mock-up of me with blonde hair. So that's the accountant. So 15% of our population are analytical thinkers. They're, the accountants, the actuaries, the really analytical people who really do need to think about it, and they need to do their research, and they need to run the numbers and all of this stuff, work it into their budget, all of these things. And that's okay. Just recognize who they are. The other 85% of the population will buy by emotion. So you really want to get them thinking about how they're going to feel, what it's going to do for their lives, you know, when they're lean and feeling great and getting up in the morning with energy, or, you know, they're creating an extra stream of income and they're not going to bed stressed because they're worried about how they're going to make their mortgage payment or their car payment. So though, you know, that 85% will appeal to the emotion, but those 15%ers, they're like me. They're like, okay, I got to analyze the numbers. So the best thing you can do with an analytical thinker is ask specifically what they have to think about. What is it that you have to think about? What can I give you to help you create a decision? You know, do you need more numbers? Do you need product information? What can I give you to create that decision? And make sure you give them all the tools, you know, send them all the tools so that they can really take a look. I am so thankful that my sponsor, Patty McIntyre, she sent me like a ton of information because I'm one of those 15%. I'm sure I drove her crazy when she had me getting started, but I had to look at everything. And thankfully I did, and she, you know, respected that. And you know, I was able to create the decision that landed me where I am today. So I see our time is slowly running out. The next slide is really just, for some reason I'm not able to flip to it, that's okay. The next slide is really about closing questions, okay? So now you've done the work, you've handled the objections. Just don't let it go from there. And that's one of the mistakes I made in the very beginning. I mean, network marketing was absolutely new to me. I didn't have the basic skills, and I had a really big mind block about asking for the order. That, you know, it was just something that I had to practice and learn. So some of the best ways to ask for the order is to ask for it. And you have to ask to get what you want. You haven't spent all of this time with someone showing them information and talking to them without creating a business transaction for yourself. So the best ways to ask for the order are you ready to get started? And if that's not comfortable for you, you can say, you know, what flavor do you like? Chocolate or vanilla or the new strawberry? It tastes amazing. And have them choose something. And, you know, that's a softer sort of soft close, not a hard close of the sale. Or you can ask them, you know, are your billing address and shipping address the same? Or would you like to put it on a Visa or a MasterCard? That's a little tough if you have some anxiety about asking for the order. So some of the softer ones may be more your style in the beginning. But those are some of the ways that you can help people create a decision. What I found is in my, you know, career in network marketing, and it really hasn't been that long, but what I found is a lot of people have a hard time coming to a decision. So you want to help them along by, you know, creating some soft closing questions to see if they're ready to create a decision. So at that, what I'd like to do is stop sharing my screen. I will post this on Team Empower Me and kind of open it up for questions if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone. And if you have questions, let me know. Mm-hmm. So who has a question? Was that Jen? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm not hearing you. If you like, you can chat and type your question. Okay. It looks like there are no questions tonight, which is fine. If you do have questions, You can reach out to me on Facebook. You'll find me there. And I will post the slides in Team Empower Me. So have a fantastic week, guys. Stay in action. For those of you in accountability, 3 looks a day, email them to me by the end of the day, and let's have a rockstar week, okay?
Ruth?
Yes?
Will this be recorded and posted? It was great, by the way.
I will do my best, Judy. I've been trying to post the recording, and I haven't had great luck, but I may call the company and ask them how to do it.
Yeah, because my builder couldn't come on, so I'd love him to hear it. It was a great one.
Okay, awesome. I will do my best, Judy, and get it posted. It was nice having you on. Nice to see you.
This is fun. I like this. Great to see you all.
So have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.